I love being from the South Side. Proud that I grew up here. Proud that I didn't get swept up in any of the nonsense.
You put your kids in survival mode. People say you're living, you're surviving.
Kids I grew up with, we used to hang out up until like 11, 12, and then it disappeared. It was my dad and my mom, and being involved with sports and not being raised that way. Never wanted to go that route. I'm Curtis Blaydes, currently ranked number 5 in the UFC. I grew up here on the south side of Chicago. He likes to dress us all up the same.
We were triplets.
That was his thing. We don't do that no more, thank God.
Again, they get older, they don't follow my lead no more.
We don't do that no more. My dad is, like most dads, he's my hero. He's the one who taught me how to ride a bike, taught me how to do pretty much everything you need to be an adult. I learned from him. He's incredibly tough and incredibly strong, very polite, very respectful, but when he needs to be, he can be forceful and aggressive in the right times, and I've seen him do that, and it's shown me how to be aggressive when I need to be aggressive. We're here at De La Salle, my old high school, and I grew up over by that McDonald's. That's where my dad used to live, and I used to wake up maybe 15 minutes before school and just sprint across the street. I began wrestling as a freshman here at De La Salle in 2005. My knowledge of wrestling was super rudimentary. I thought it was like WWE. That first season I went undefeated. I was 25-0. Oh, I might have my name on one of these. My name's on there, yep. We went 14-1. My sophomore year, I was bumped up to the varsity roster. I went from going 25-0 as a freshman on the JV squad to going like 16-9. Those 9 losses, each one just chipped away at my confidence, and at one point I did quit the team. I was having a really bad day, really bad practice, and I just walked out of the room saying, I'm done with this. Coach Combs, he showed up at my dad's house and was like, yo, he told him what happened, and my dad was like, you went back to practice. And had he not done that, had he just allowed me to quit, I'm definitely not here today. It was really me and this other guy, Clayton Kendall. We were the only ones that were of note, like the guys who get in paper, guys who win the big tournaments. So it was me and him all the way up until my senior year. That's when I finally felt like when I walked on the mat, I was like, I'm gonna win. I didn't want to just win by 1 or 2 points. I wanted to either pin you or just embarrass you. After that, that's when I started getting a few offers for college, and I ended up picking Northern Illinois University. Adjusting to college, the biggest thing wasn't really practice, it was like the social side of things. Finding out from my head coach at NIU that they were gonna pull my scholarship was, at that time, the worst day of my life, because I knew my dad was gonna be pissed, which he was. It was a little depressing, because I was like, I'm only 18 already, 19, already screwing up my life, so I decided to go to a smaller school, a junior college called Harper. One of my buddies from high school, he kept bugging me. He's like, bro, you should try boxing, try boxing. I started doing that for like a month and a half, and they got me a fight. They got me an amateur fight, and I won it pretty easily, and then just kept doing it. Throughout this whole period from 2012 to 2016, my dad is constantly trying to get me to take the police exam. At first, he was not with it. He did not believe in MMA as a real career, which I understand, because a lot of people say they fight, but there's only a few like real fighters, and those are the ones that have legitimate chances of making careers at it. So he saw it as like being a rapper, like it's one in a million.
This is my graduation from the academy. He's a second generation police family. And you see him as a kid, now you see him in a uniform.
Oh yeah, he's a cop.
This is a proud moment here. I had the opportunity to put his star, to pin him, put his star on. And I can say I shed about, what, 2 tears?
Oh my God.
Two tears.
I never really wanted to be a police officer. So I fought against it, and just in time I got that call from the UFC, and I never had to take the exam. I was depressed. I didn't know if I wanted to do it still. I thought about quitting, because when you lose, you question yourself. You question, is it worth it? You question a lot of things. Especially at that moment, losing my debut fight, it's like, are you ready for this? Like, do you even belong? You had a shot, you just lost. Any type of depressing thought you can think of, that's what I was going through. It's just a constant reminder, like, that blood is there because I let myself get hit way too many times.
He came home with this, right? I said, oh, okay, let me wash it. He said, no, don't wash it. I said, what? He says, I don't ever want to see as much blood of mine again. I'm like, I didn't get the story, but I ain't said because Dad, that's going to remind me and motivate me. Yeah. And at that point, we sat on that couch. Remember that talk came? He said, I'm moving. I said, where you going? I get out of Chicago. Then he left Chicago. I felt better for him because I know he grew up, he got serious about it.
This is one of the gyms I used to train at, like, before I moved down to Denver and joined Team Elevation. It's just like, it's almost like a normal gym, except it's more pointed towards fitness, like in terms of boxing and kickboxing, as opposed to just hitting the weights. In hindsight, I might have been better off just running 4 miles every day. We really didn't do too much. I kind of went in there with almost one hand tied behind my back that fight. All I had was a jab and my wrestling. What I was doing before was like, basically, if I was in the NBA, but I didn't practice with the team, I just practiced at like a pickup park. It's not the same. The speed is different, the physicality is different, everything's different. It's almost impossible to even compare them. Me moving was like set it in stone. I just made a commitment, like, I'm gonna go to practice. At one point, I hated practice, MMA practice, like doing the striking or doing the jiu-jitsu, I hated that. I think that was a mental thing. Like, I was like mentally just pushing against it. I should just go with it. And I made that choice when I moved to Denver, just to accept what they're telling me, do it how they say, just don't complain, and it worked. Honestly, I want the belt. I want the money that comes with the belt. I want the prestige that comes with the belt. And I want to just hold on to it for as long as I can, and hopefully in doing that, I leave a legacy that lasts long after I'm gone.
That's my greatest, I guess, compliment you can give me about your son, about your kids. When they're not around you, people still acknowledge the fact that they're good kids. Respectful, humble, throughout the neighborhood, throughout the city. You know, I think he's a great example of a Chicago kid. I mean, everybody talks about the violence in Chicago. You have a lot of good kids come out the city and don't get the notice. It's one of the good kids is making it out the city, and I love the fact that he's so humble.
Oh, don't do that. Come on, Dad. Don't do that stuff. Come on, man. Come on. Thank you. I appreciate it. You good, Dad.
And hard worker. I mean, I respect that. more than the wins and losses. You know, it's just that's the realness of it.
If you had to choose being a dad like your father or the spouse, which you take? Like what means the most to you, I guess?
I mean, obviously, being a great dad, because that lasts longer. If you raise a good kid, that's going to mean a lot more than having a belt for, because you can't have it forever. You're going to lose it eventually, so yeah. But I like to do both, if possible.